Hello everybody. So I just watched Wonder Woman 84 and Warner Brothers. I just want to talk. Like, is there a way that you can simultaneously try and phone it in at the same time? Because I'm pretty sure that that's what they did. Alrighty, without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, it is way too late right now for me to be filming, but I just finished watching and I need to talk about this before I forget. I have like 6 pages of notes and I want to talk about it. I'm not going to be talking about plot points unless they're relevant to the critiques or criticisms that I have about the movie, but there are obviously going to be spoilers, so if you haven't watched Wonder Woman 84 yet, probably a good idea to click away. Great. So they start off the movie with Diana competing against like 10 other adults in an American Ninja Warrior triathlon style obstacle course type thing. And at the end, Diana doesn't win because she had to take a shortcut. So both her trainer and her mother tell her that she isn't ready to be a true hero and that a true hero isn't born out of lies and isn't hasty. And I kind of call bullshit. Like, I'm not saying what they're saying itself is wrong, but it doesn't actually fit in the context of the scene. The reason why Diana lost that obstacle course is because every minute she kept checking back to see how far ahead she was in comparison to the other competitors. And because of that, she ended up hitting an obstacle and getting flung off of her horse. So if anything, the moral of the story is actually that a true hero doesn't compare themselves to others and that they should be focusing on doing the best that they can and helping as many as they can, and not on whether somebody is about to overtake them or whether they're the best. Like, what they're saying isn't wrong, but that scene needed to be different for the words that they were saying to make sense. Also, I have a costuming gripe. So the Wonder Woman costumes, like the costumes in the first Wonder Woman movie with Gal Gadot, were great. They were great. But I don't know if anybody else had an issue with this, but what the hell are their competition costumes? Where exactly did the Amazon warriors get lycra and spandex? The clothes that they're wearing look like they literally walked off of a Lululemon catalog. What is that? I know that they swim underwater for a bit. Are they supposed to be swimsuits? Are they competing in swimsuits the entire time? These people were wearing leather in battle. Why are they wearing spandex now? It doesn't make sense. Fix their costuming. They also introduced a new character symbol of Asteria, who is somebody that they look up to as a true hero. I feel like I shouldn't have expected anything, but I still did. I expected them to do something with that character. I saw later in the movie that Diana had Asteria's armor. Then they showed clips of Asteria shielding so that the other Amazons could get away. And I thought, oh, you know what would be really cool would be if Barbara steals the Golden Eagle armor and then Diana has to fight her, like has to fight somebody else wearing the armor of their true hero. And it would have worked because she's been losing her powers throughout the movie, so she's questioning if she actually is a hero or not. Or I thought that Barbara could find out towards the end of the movie that she is actually Asteria and she just like doesn't remember it, so she was special and like Diana all along. But none of those things happened. Them talking about Asteria in the beginning was literally only there so that they could explain the Golden Eagle armor, even though she can already fly and she already has armor and she's already bulletproof, weapon-proof. And then it was also there for that post-credits fan service moment where Linda Carter shows up as Asteria. They're like, hey look, see? We have the original Wonder Woman, see? Like this movie, because we did that in the post-credits scene. According to this Inverse article I found, I will add the link down below, Asteria is like a very, very minor character or minimally mentioned character. She may have been a parallel universe Wonder Woman. I doubt that they're going to have multiple Wonder Women, multiple Wonder Womans. Firstly, because I'm pretty sure it was just a fan service moment, and secondly, because they already kind of gave her a backstory that establishes her in this universe, so I doubt she's going to be from a parallel universe. So, okay, so they time skipped to 1984, and Wonder Woman is basically like a combo Flash Superman type superhero because she like regularly patrols. There are 2 problems I have with the mall hostage scene. Firstly, Diana saves that girl, but then she breaks the security camera so that she isn't seen. But then she also has to disappear super fast, and they show her appearing in her apartment in her Wonder Woman costume, which means that at no point did she go to whatever central room there was that the security cameras were being sent to and deleted the tapes. Which means that there should be tapes of her Wonder Womaning. Either she thought that the 80s cameras were crap and wouldn't be able to recognize her, which, fair, probably. In which case, why would she break the cameras in the first place? Or she thought the cameras will be enough to recognize her, in which case she should have destroyed the tapes as well. Also, what was the point of the property damage? Also, throwing all 4 men onto a car seemed a little extreme. 3 out of 4 were literally just jewelry store robbers, nothing else. It seemed like it was like a tit for tat thing because that guy was threatening to throw the girl off of the floor, but so for him, do what you will, but the other 3, like if you throw people onto a car from a high height, they're gonna crack a la Taylor Swift in Bad Blood. Like, they're not gonna be okay, they're gonna be extremely injured. Your use of force should be proportional to the crime committed. Moving on from that though, the little girl who tried to go up to Diana and then Diana had to throw her into a bear was adorable. Her trying to wink back at Diana was so cute, oh my god. Barbara Minerva seems like she's me. She is all of us. If we somehow ended up in the DC universe or in a superhero movie, we are not the superhero. We are not the supervillain. We are pre-Wish Barbara Minerva. We are the basic person just living life while there are superheroes among us. But also everyone is just like really rude to her for no reason. Like, she dropped her briefcase and tried to reach out to a colleague and the colleague just completely blanked her. Also, her boss forgot her name after hiring her last week. First of all, that is incredibly unprofessional. But second of all, ma'am, you work at the Smithsonian. Are you telling me that there's so many scientists in your department that you're able to forget one of them that specializes in 3 different fields? Really? I almost thought after Diana showed her ability to obscure items that they were going to say or show that Barbara had that used on her or was accidentally using it herself and that was the reason why nobody noticed her. Which would have been a better reason than, she's the unpopular nerd girl. I just found it odd that they focused so much on the like, nerd girl gets a makeover becomes popular thing. Like, I thought we left that in the 80s and 90s. Although I did end up going back and watching a couple of scenes when I was writing down what I wanted to talk about in this video, and I found it a clever nod that Diana's shoes in the scene where she first meets Barbara are cheetah print. But at the same time, why do they focus so much on shoes? Like, a not minimal amount of time is spent talking about being able to walk in heels, not being able to walk in heels, being able to walk in stilettos, and they pause on everybody's shoes and feet for like a weirdly long time. Like, even when Wonder Woman is in her costume, they pan down to show that she's in like wedge heels and like pause there for a second before continuing on. Why? Like, the shoes are not that important. Also, it feels like they're trying to be like, look, shoes make the woman. Okay, so they're both looking at the Dreamstone that can grant a wish. Okay, they're both looking at the Dreamstone that can grant a wish. Okay, so they're both looking at this Dreamstone that can supposedly grant a wish, and then one of the guys around them wishes for a coffee and immediately gets one. I didn't notice at the time, but we find out later that the Dreamstone is actually a monkey's paw type object that will give equal but opposite consequences for that wish. So that guy got his coffee, but he immediately burnt his tongue afterwards. So a minor wish causes minor consequences, major wish, major consequences. Also, Maxwell Lord is Pedro Pascal. I didn't watch the opening credits when I was watching the movie, so when Maxwell Lord showed up, I was just like, that man is really familiar. It took me 10 minutes and then I was finally like, it's the Narcos guy. Barbara gets convinced by Maxwell Lord to let him into her secret lair, a la Sky High, and of course he ends up with the Dreamstone. Meanwhile, Diana finds out that she brought Steve back to life in someone else's body. Holy consent issues, Batman. Batman. That's possession, and you're supposed to be the good guy, ma'am. She literally had sex with her boyfriend while he was in someone else's body. Why are we not talking about this? That's really creepy. Also, we see Chris Pine, but nobody else sees Chris Pine. They just see that other guy. Like, does he have a life outside of this? Does he have a job, a girlfriend, somebody? Things that he is unwillingly leaving behind because Steve and Diana are like cool with taking his body on an international trip. When we got to the part where Diana found out that she can and should renounce the wish to bring Steve back to life, and then she was like, I don't want to lose you. It's not like this person was brain dead. They are still hopefully alive in there. Give them their body back. When Maxwell Lord wished to become the Dreamstone, I facepalmed hard. Why do I feel that people in superhero movies have never read a book or watched or read any fantasy ever, sir? Why would you think that you could become an object of unbelievable power without any consequences. Everybody else had to pay consequences. What, you think that you're not gonna have to? So the first hour of the movie I enjoyed. It was after Diana and Steve ended up in Max Lord's office that things just started to... Firstly, in that busy a building, nobody noticed that they were in the CEO's office. They should have gotten caught. Actually, what should have happened is that would have been when they met Alistair. He should have talked about his father, and then at the end, Diana could reference his son to make him stop. That would make sense. They didn't want to do that. Fine. Secondly, we saw Diana badge into work when she and Steve got into the fighter jet to go to Egypt. So she badged into work and then they flew away from the Smithsonian, presumably leaving the Smithsonian in like lockdown, and she would be missing. Who do you think that they would blame, or at the very least question? She wouldn't have just gotten away without any questions for that stunt. Also, Diana, despite never having this power before, is suddenly able to use the mist of like Greek mythology and more currently Percy Jackson fame. So she uses it to make the plane invisible, but then they fly through a bunch of fireworks. It's invisible, not indestructible. Fireworks are literally just bunches of gunpowder shot at really high speeds. My brother and I legitimately thought throughout that entire part that they were actually going to get hit by a firework and then they were going to have to find some other way to get to Egypt. Because what was the point? It felt like it was there for like the, oh, it's pretty, we're having a kind of date on our way to save the world type thing. Thirdly, the man who is an expert on Mayan culture is Baba Jeed. He is played by the actor Ravi Patel. This seems wrong somehow. I think we know that it's wrong. Last I checked, people of color are not interchangeable. You can't just replace an indigenous person with an Indian person and expect no one to care. Don't get me wrong. Ultimately, it was Warner Brothers' decision to cast him, but I feel like they could have at least looked for indigenous people to play that role, or they could have changed the script a little bit so he wasn't like playing a different race. I feel like they could have changed that and they just chose not to. 4, it happened again, and it's always annoying, but why is it that when people are going supervillain or losing themselves, their clothes always go to crap and their hair does too? You can literally see as Barbara goes from like normal to confident to cheetah, because like in the White House scene she has visible roots and her hair is like pressed down instead of the like vibrant curls. I know why we do this. I know it's an easy way for you to signal to the audience, hey look, this is the bad guy, but you could have at least made her clothes cooler. Come on, what was that white and black fuzzy coat? What was that? Villains can have a sense of style. I'm also confused about Barbara's wish. Like the second that she said she wants to be the apex predator, I was like, that sounds like you're gonna be turning into a monster to me. But I thought that she only gets one wish. Like, was she able to make multiple wishes because Max Lord said so? Or was he using like the things that he takes from other people to grant the wish? Because he gave her rage and prowess. I don't see how that translates to cheetah unless she specifically wished to become cheetah-like. I would also like to point out that the end fight action sequence was a literal cat fight. In the end, the movie predictably comes down to the love of a father for his son, because he renounces the wish because his son and everybody else in the US is about to get hit by nuclear bombs. But I was kind of confused about the ending. So if Max Lord renounced his wish, did other people need to renounce their wish? Because he became the Dreamstone. So once he renounced his wish, he wasn't the Dreamstone and he hadn't become the Dreamstone. If he was no longer the Dreamstone, then I understand why other people would have to renounce their wishes, but I don't believe that everybody would have renounced their wishes. So why was everything back to normal? Or he was never the Dreamstone, so none of the wishes that the other people made would come true, but then nobody else would have had to renounce their wishes because they would have had no power. I'm not sure about that one. Also, the story just doesn't feel resolved by the end. Normally there's like a news clip showing the aftermath, but they just skip straight to Christmas. They just skip 5 months ahead without telling us what happened. What happened? I would like to know. What happened? Do people remember this still, or was it erased from their memories? Did Russia and America actually almost bomb each other, or did it never happen? Do people remember the almost apocalypse, or like was that entire time period just wiped from their memories? What happened? We deserve answers. Although good news for Steve's temporary soul holder, he's doing fine. He and Diana accidentally met and he was wearing the clothes that she suggested for Steve, which I found funny, but I was also wondering maybe he has like remnants of Steve, or maybe he was actually just Steve reincarnated, but he didn't remember it. And he still doesn't remember it, but she can see Steve in him now? Probably not, but it would have been cool. Listen, I didn't hate the movie. The pacing of the movie was also really weird. Things progressed at a normal speed, and then zoop. They were literally going from building a wall in Egypt and having an action sequence on cars and tanks to being the White House and mind controlling the president and having a knockdown drag-out fight in the hallway in like 3 minutes. By the end of it, things were happening so rapidly. I was like, wait, what? This woman has dropped dead. They're starting to deport Irish immigrants. Nuclear bombs are about to be flying on both sides. Max Lord's kid is somehow on a highway. What is happening? Like, the pacing just didn't feel right in this movie. Like, ultimately, I didn't hate this movie. I have seen superhero movies that are a lot worse. I have also seen superhero movies that are a lot better, namely Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was a lot better. I feel like if you're going to be doing a sequel, you have to make sure that the sequel is at least as good as the original. Otherwise, there's kind of no point. That is all for this video. I'm going to spend the next as long as it takes editing, and then I'm going to zoop onto the internet. If you like this video, please give me a like wherever. Here it is. If you want to see more of my videos, you can click on my channel name, also somewhere over here, and subscribe for more content. I make new videos 2 to 3 times a week about books, movies, TV shows, just general pop culture stuff I find interesting. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye!